All righty. Welcome, everybody. Good evening or good afternoon, late evening, wherever you guys are on the East Coast. I know up by Robert, it's like late afternoon, early evening, right, Robert?
Yeah, nice to see you on here, Anthony. And yeah, it's almost 6 o'clock here.
Okay, yeah, very good. It's a different time zone. But I am so psyched that we have Robert Hollis with us here today, who I consider to be the GOAT or one of the GOATs in network marketing because I've actually read your book, Robert, and the story that you tell in your upbringing before doing network marketing and just going through like the motions of how you were feeling, and it's like it just grabs you.
Thank
and and talking about how to get Robert's book, you can go up to roberthollis.com/free. You can join his tribe. He has courses, videos to help you launch a business, and you can pick up his free copy of his book. How's that going for you? So Robert, it is a really pleasure to have you with us today.
Anthony, what a pleasure to work with you. I love your professionalism and your attitude from the moment that I met you. And it's always fun to be working with people that the way to greatness is the service of many, and that you have that kind of heart to really, including this interview, is to reach out and help people be educated that there is a better way. There definitely is a better way.
Definitely. And talking about the better way, I know that the way, society has to run and function. Yes, you need people to be doctors, you need people to be lawyers, or people like me to be accountants in order for society to run. But for those other people that are looking to find that other way, that are struggling, having an online home based business like affiliate marketing slash network marketing, whatever you want to call it, there is always other avenues.
Yes.
I see we have two people so far joining us on Facebook. If you're here on Facebook, make sure you use the hashtag live, or if you're catching this on the replay, use the hashtag replay in the comments section. And also, if you're on Facebook, you can click on the link above this video, the Grand StreamYard permission to identify your name by when you comment. So if you click on that link, we'll know who's here. Robert, I know that we had a little bit of a delay because we had another training scheduled right before this. Mark, who I'm really looking forward to seeing in Nashville in June.
Yeah.
Yep. So how you been, Robert? I know that you were battling some, illness coming back from Budapest. How you
Yeah,
feeling?
I will. Today is the last day. I'll be 60, and sometimes I do like a lot of professional people. I still have that young mind and that young heart, and I thought I could, spend 12, 15 hours on air flights, traveling from here to Budapest, Hungary. And then just, jump up, do a training with Mark and Josh and Jenna's Wagel, and then jump back on an airplane and fly home. And that took a little more out of me than I was used to. So, meeting thousands of people and traveling like that, got the best of me, and it took me a little bit to come back. So, I'm going to get better at recovering faster, but I need to be a little smarter. We all can keep learning. And I always seen Mark. He's my same age, and he said, I said, when are you going to Budapest? He says, I'm going on Wednesday. And I said, it's not till Friday. And he's like, dude, I can't. It takes me a day and a half to recover from the different time changes, 9 hours in difference in time. And I was like, I've done it twice. I'll be fine. I wasn't.
Different times back then, right, Robert?
Yeah.
And as you mentioned that kind of reminds me when, me, my father, my brother, we go out drag racing. And that was actually one of the things that I found out reading your book, Robert, that, you're a car guy, you're a, ex-mechanic. And, when we go out to like these big races on the East Coast, whether it be Maryland, Pennsylvania, yeah, you do need that day to catch up because you're driving 3 or 4 hours towing an enclosed trailer. You don't want to be taking out the car out of the trailer, wait to get tacked in. You want to cool down a little bit. So if you get to the races maybe like a night earlier, at least you have like a good night's sleep, and then you do kind of like your business the next morning. So I definitely feel you to, when you travel, and just make sure you have some downtime or me time as far as that.
Right. Totally agree.
Yeah. So that rolls into my first question I wanted to ask you. How does Robert Hollis still stay in the game? You mentioned, or at least I mentioned in my content leading up to this interview, you have over 3 decades in this business.
Right.
What keeps you going after enjoying the wave of successes that you keep enjoying?
What I know a lot of people don't understand, and I didn't understand, is 36 years ago when I first heard that people made money. Like, I worked for a billionaire named Roger Penske. That's who I was a automotive engineer with, and all his race cars. And people keep saying, and I even said, I don't understand the reason for the consistent making it bigger and making it bigger and making more money. When I was working with him, he owned one track, that was the Michigan 500. And, by the time I quit with him, he owned 3 tracks, 3 2.5 mile tracks, Fontana, and the other one, I believe, was in Texas somewhere. And you sit there and you go, why do you keep doing what you're doing? Well, there's 2 phrases that I heard that I didn't believe. And one was, the moment you fall in love with what you're doing, it's no longer work. And so when I started learning how to help other people change their lives in all areas of their lives, that becomes very fulfilling. That becomes extremely fulfilling. And me wanting to grow, I started hanging around people that were really into charity, philanthropy. And it's like, these guys would be they would give more in charity in a month than I was giving in charity in a year. And you start hanging around those people, and I'm really motivated by children. I grew up in foster homes when I was a kid. And so, when I can influence and help a kid make them feel like, just because your mom and dad's not around doesn't mean you're not valuable. It doesn't mean that you're not worth something. And when I started doing that and helping children, that became addicting. You know what I mean? So now I support over 2,500 orphans worldwide. And I want and will need that number to be 25,000. And so I feel like I at least have 40 more summers left. So I'm gonna I'm gonna do my very, very best.
Well, you mentioned that today will be the last day that you're going to be 60 years old. Well, happy early birthday to you, Roberts.
Thank you. I got so many friends all over the world now. It's like as soon as people get up in Australia and Tonga, I got people all over the place. It's like, hey, happy birthday. And I'm like, it's so cool to.
Yeah, you're probably gonna get them now, because in Australia, I'm sure it's like 7:53, 8:53 a.m. over there. So I'm sure they're gonna be pouring in pretty soon.
really blessed. It's I tell people all the time, is a lot of people don't like social media. Again, it's all attitude. But I think last year I raised $1,200 for the St. Jude Children's Hospital by asking people to donate my name. And
great
I think
organization.
It's like you get 700, 800, 900 happy birthdays. I'm telling you, it for those of you that think it's nothing, I pray one day it happens to you and you just go, you know what, maybe I did touch some lives.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the longer we stay in front of the audience, because you're averaging 1 video at least per day on YouTube.
Yep.
Since I joined your tribe online, I have your videos playing in the background as I work. I always say I'm not the greatest in multitasking, but it doesn't mean that I don't, always try.
Well, I'm blown away that you're even doing this during tax seasons. I'm impressed. you definitely have a work ethic, and that's hard to find nowadays.
Yeah. Nowadays I always find ways to motivate myself just to keep me sane and, try to keep me grounded and calm.
Yep.
Because I feel like my business, for those of you that don't already know, I'm a CPA accountant. So this is the worst time to be as an accountant right now. But even though I don't do any tax stuff, I do, the year-end audit. I work with the auditors at year-end for their financial statements, and you get bombarded with a lot of different requests. And one client wants you to stay with their account and work on their account alone, but they don't want to know that you have other clients. But it's always comforting. I find that listening to you in the background is very comforting. Number one, you're very consistent.
Thank you.
Because even when I share your video out to other people, to other prospects, they say that you're a very humble, bubbly individual.
Thank you.
And you're very consistent. You always give a lot of gratitude. For those of you that never seen Robert Hollis' videos on YouTube, he always gives thanks and gratitude to Mark Zuckerberg and YouTube and the algorithms to make sure that these videos are being pushed out to the individuals that need to hear it. So it's like when you structure a video from the beginning, that's what we're used to seeing. And that gives us that comfort and a place of peace that we can hear it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've never heard that. That makes me feel, you warmed my heart.
Yeah. You're welcome, Robert. Speaking of being in this business for over 3 decades, you mentioned about traveling. It's a lot easier to do when you were younger. When you first got started into this business, I know that a lot of it, you might have met a lot of people at hotel banquet halls. Did you do a lot of traveling, like outside the country for network marketing, or did that catch on? Recently?
It always was about, I probably sound like your parents, you know what I mean? But we didn't have any cell phones and we didn't have any internet, and it was so funny. I was willing to talk to anybody that knew someone that wanted more in life. And it's crazy how fast that would take you to another city, another state, another country. Yeah. I've always loved that. The company that I first joined, I was helping with international expansion to Canada. You know what I mean? So it was a small city right outside of Detroit called Sarnia, Canada, and it's small city on the other side of the border. But it was fun to be moving. And now my business, 30,000 plus people in my group. I know I'm in at least 70 countries, and wow. And to see those people succeed. I got one guy that just hit one of our top ranks, and he's from Kazakhstan, and connected with him on the internet, did a video for him. He hired a translator. We did that translation. And now, him making a couple of $1,000s a month in Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude's like the king.
Pretty much, right? Kiss the ring, right?
Yeah. So that's always fun. That's always fun. I got a group in Mongolia, and it's just amazing the kind of people that you can touch all over the world.
Definitely. I can imagine that for sure. I hope one day that I can be able to do that with multiple people.
You will. You definitely will.
Yeah. And the number I believe you gave me is over 60 people that have met their first 7-figure mark.
Yeah. I just had these are people that actually reached out to me and told me that I helped them. And I know it's a lot more, but 66, I recently had just another person reach out to me. And out of the 66, I don't know if I shared this with you, Anthony, 9 of them own their own marketing company.
Wow.
And one of those companies is now 27 years old, and they've done a little over 6 million. So the owners of that company were people that I personally trained.
That is amazing. And obviously you're very effective in the message that you bring out to them. And it sounds like you do it efficiently if you're able to hit those numbers consistently.
Yeah, I love what one person said about me. They said, if you do it once, that's pretty remarkable. You do it twice, that's not considered luck anymore. You do it more
Right.
than twice, there's a pattern that happens. So this is my seventh company that I've achieved a million plus a year in. And so, yeah, I sort of feel like Jimmy Johnson, you know what I mean?
Everything you touch is gold. Everybody you talk to becomes.
Seven times. So it was him and Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. So yeah, it's nice to have the, oh, I can't see it in the picture, but the rings, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really cool.
That's amazing. I mean, it sounds like success follows you wherever you go, but you're able to pretty much like take it anywhere. I know
Yeah.
that in my early affiliate marketing days back in 2021, whatever I was learning, it can be applied to any social media platform, whether it be
Yes.
TikTok,
Yes,
Facebook,
absolutely.
Twitter. I mean, I haven't dived into Twitter yet, but now I've gotten into YouTube. And basically, the foundations stay the same. The structures and the platforms they change, but it's all about using it as a viable traffic source. So I'm sure you were able to translate whatever you have learned through experiences and what you were taught by your prior mentors to
Yes.
anybody in their significant, certain situation.
Yeah. One of the things is, you mentioned a number of different kinds of marketing, between us and your viewers, marketing very simply, look it up on Google. I mean, now you can look it up on Chat GPT, right?
Hmm.
Go out there and find, you can sign up for free. They got 100 million users, and it was funny. I did a training on Saturday, Anthony, and I was just asking this AI that's supposed to know everything random questions. Like I asked, can anyone be happy? And it not only would say yes, but it would give you all the things you need to follow. And then I asked, can anyone be successful? And it said yes. And then everything come out. And then I said, what about direct sales? You know what I mean? And it said yes. And to me, marketing is very simple. My favorite book of all time is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. It was written in 1910.
Hmm.
And one of the things that's amazing about that book is it inspired Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which was written 30 years later.
Right.
And one of the core financial things that it says in there is it's easy to become successful because all you have to do is give someone something of value. So if you give someone something of value, they'll exchange their credit or their hard-earned money that they have in paper volume or gold at that time.
Right.
But it is if you offer somebody something of value that's more than what they have, they'll get it. They'll get it for you. So a lot of people find, they get into marketing and they think it's sales. You can get a marketing degree at any major university or college. You
Hmm.
can't get a degree in sales. You get a degree in marketing. Marketing's different than sales. So you have all these companies that either make something, innovate something, or have some kind of service.
Right.
Is second someone's got a service or an item that they have that is valuable, that fits a need, find a need and fill it. Now
Hmm.
you got to go to the person that's the marketer to get that value in front of as many eyes as they possibly can. And so my mentor told me, 36 years ago, Anthony, he goes, Robert, if you learn this skill and you can market millions of dollars of a product or service every single month, you'll make more than any rock star. You'll make more than any professional athlete because there's new stuff being innovated and invented every day. And
Hmm.
as soon as they invent it, what's the first thing they want to do? Sell it.
That's it. Get it
So,
out to the world.
me and my son were watching this funny documentary today, and there's this guy. I don't want to, cause any controversy here, but there was this guy named Andrew Tate that right now has been put in jail and stuff, and he was banned because of his weird ideas being controversy, he was banned from every social media. And he was able in a couple of years to make $700 million because he allowed affiliate marketing, which means that if you sold his course, you would get a percentage. I think it was 48% of that sale. So now if he's got 100,000 people online that's making money sharing his information and content.
That's evergreen right there.
They couldn't stop this guy from making money. And I was like, my son said, Dad, you're going to really enjoy this documentary. And the guy's not a good guy. I don't know anything about him or anything, but when you want to create a movement of people that say, listen, instead of me always giving my money to Walmart and Target and Costco and Amazon, if there was a way for me to get better quality products from somebody else, and by me sharing that affiliate link, I'm helping that company. I'm giving quality products to people that need them. And in return, that company decides to send me a check every week for doing it.
Doesn't seem bad to me. I mean, it seems logical.
Yeah. So my mentor 36 years ago said, Robert, how many people do you have currently responsible for your income? And I was on disability. I was on workman's comp because I got hurt as a mechanic. And I was going, well, the only people that are responsible for my income right now are the government. So I guess a lot of taxpayers, including me, paid in to that, know, so and the employer paid into that. Yeah, he showed me a printout at that time. And at that time, he had just a little over 30,000 people that were responsible for his income. And Anthony, I'll never forget when he said this. He said, Robert, do you know a lot of people that are lazy? And I said, yeah. And he said, so what if 30,000 people only worked 1 hour a month? Then I got paid on 30,000 hours.
Right.
What do you get paid on in a month? And it was just this thought of leverage and residual. People today still are in awe of how much Jerry Seinfeld is worth. I think he just hit $1 billion. And it's because he wanted it on the back end instead of the front end. So every time there's an episode of Seinfeld being watched all over the world in every language, that guy still makes money.
Yeah, he'll still get the royalties.
Yeah. So that's thinking leverage and residual instead of thinking I'll work, 40 hours and get paid on Friday. And it's not a get rich quick scheme. Everybody, if there's anything negative about this industry, it's the industry that people really think that you can just work a couple of weeks and then get paid $1 million.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's definitely something that you have to work hard every day, whether you put out a piece of content, you follow up with somebody that you've spoken to, or they saw your content and they reach out to you as an inbound. It's something that you cannot just always be like laid back for. I know that when I was looking at My Daily Choice as the company that I wanted to start building residual income so I can kind of like step back a little bit when I get myself into this busy time at work. I mean, I still have to follow up with people, but it's all about, setting out your referral links, or it's all about point God and direct them to somebody that's actually done it, very successfully. And I find that you're the go-to person, Robert.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So,
well, I tell people all the time is I don't know why people listen to undocumented people for answers. It's like going to your cousin that's on their third marriage and asking them for relationship advice. It's just the most bizarre things that 80% of the ordinary average people do. Is ordinary average people listen to ordinary and average people. And when I learned young in my life that when I got to hang around a billionaire, that as soon as I brought a piece of information to him, I write about this in my book, as soon as I gave him a piece of information that I didn't do my due diligence on, that I didn't know that was factual, he made an example of me in front of 70 employees. And that was one of the best lessons of my life, Anthony. It was like, now people start talking to me and I'll just go, Anthony, how do you know this? And they go, what do you mean? I mean, how do you know the thing you're about ready to share with me is actual fact?
Right.
And they're going, well, Jim Joe Bob told me, you know what I mean? He's my brother's work friend, you know, at construction. That's not a reliable source. So, so you'll notice a lot of people will hear about this kind of industry and they'll go, oh, one of those things. And we can learn anything in life from someone that's already documented and did it. So a lot of people, I love using this analogy every time I get a chance to talk to people. There's a World Cup Stacking Association. And all the kids do and parents do is stack plastic cups. It's worldwide. Now, the kid that holds the record for stacking and unstacking plastic cups in less than 3 seconds earns over $1 million a year.
Wow.
Because he broke the record, so he got on a commercial on edible eggs. He also got a commercial on McDonald's. So if I said to people, listen, you could make millions of dollars by stacking plastic cups, there's really only 3 thoughts that you should have. 1, wow, I want to learn how to do it. I'm going to make a decision to find out where the World Cup Stack Cupping Association is.
Right.
I'm going to find out where their tournaments. I'm going to get their cups and get their mat, because it's like bowling. You can't use a square bowling ball. You got to use one that's regulation.
Right.
And then the second thing is, once you make the decision to do that, why would you want to learn from your friends?
Why would you want to learn from your relatives? Third, why would you want to tell them what you're doing? Hey, Anthony, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm practicing. I just got into stacking plastic cups. Yeah, that should be. I'm sure you're going to get some real good encouragement. See what I mean? People would be going, plastic cups. Now, listen, I'm going to make money stacking plastic cups at these tournaments. And it's like, you're an idiot. You're stupid. Why don't you get a real job? And it's like, so now the next step is, why not learn from someone that has already made millions doing it? Don't change it. Just get close to his record. And that just takes time. So practice when you can. But people make $1 million playing pool. They make $1 million throwing darts. They make $1 million by doing cornhole. Wow. I never thought that I would go on ESPN going through the channels, and it's the World Championship of Cornhole. You know, but it's axe throwing. It's everything out there has these niches. Yep.
And if you get into it and learn from people that know what they're doing and go, listen, I'm going to practice. It works on everything. You can learn a new language. Why can't you learn to do marketing online?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, learning marketing is a teachable skill that you can actually get paid as you're learning and getting other people involved in it. I mean, it truly is amazing. And it sounds like, there is a sport out there for everything. There are people that say to this day that, oh, drag racing is not a sport. Why isn't it a sport? You compete for championship points. You get the
people
tour.
Make millions of dollars doing it.
Look at John Force. He's probably the most winningest driver in history. He has over 150 national event wins under his belt, and he's still doing it today. He's in his 70s, for God's sakes, and he's still out there going.
And then people say that you can't duplicate it. So then what he did is he made one of his daughters a world champion, and
Yep.
then he made the other daughter a world champion. Well, you still can't duplicate it. No, now one of his sons-in-laws is taking over his position,
Mm-hmm.
competing against him. So you make your two daughters world champions and millionaires, and then you take one of your son-in-laws and make him a world champion. It's duplicatable. Just most people don't want to listen.
I
They're
mean,
know-it-all.
there's never going to be another John Force, but
No.
to have his drive and his passion for the sport of NHRA in and of itself, I mean, that can be lived on with any racer there is.
Yep.
But it's like if you build it up to a certain point, it becomes, you get more eyeballs on it. And that's what, I feel that as a marketer, you have to try to cut through like the noise of other people.
Yeah.
Some say that, yeah, it is, it's competition, things get saturated. It's not really that way. Even people on my team, it's all about how to help each other try to reach rank.
Yep.
And I actually watched a training earlier today by Candace Bird Davis, who I believe, Robert, you brought into the fold. That's at one point. And she also mentioned about, you are who you hang out with.
Yes.
You want to hang out with, friends that are not going to contribute to the goals that you are trying to achieve in life, or do you want to hang out with certain people that have actually obtained success and learn from them? So that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest takeaway that I got from Candace.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we were talking about, me making fun of being a cup stacker, I guarantee you, just like martial arts, just like drag racing, you go to where they all hang out. And now you're no longer a weirdo, because everyone at that event is stacking plastic cups.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at him, you go, wow, how long have you been doing this? Oh, my brother, he got into it, and now I'm in it. And I was rated number 5 last year in the world. And it's like, what, how do you, do you make any money out of this? Yeah. You know what I mean? I made 34,000. But wait a minute. How old are you? 13?
That's
You're like,
that's like instant, like, cool status. It's like you have that ability and skill. You're not just some like, new kid on the block. You actually have some type of pedigree behind you.
Yeah. And you'll notice that, of course, hanging around the right people, as Anthony said, these people have a tendency of doing nothing ordinary, nothing average. They understand that, wow, if I'm going to go out and play darts or play pool with my friends, they're the ones that got a dartboard in their house. They've watched a few videos, and they're only practicing maybe an hour a week. But that's an hour a week more than you are. So when they show up, it's like, don't play Anthony. That guy's a pull shark. He's a dart shark. And it's like, no, you just have to be this much better than all the average people that didn't practice at all.
Yeah. Even like bowling, you don't have to be better than everybody in the whole bowling alley, just the guy or gal next to you.
Yeah.
Figuring like the handicap. And even in drag racing too, it's like, whoever you're paired up next to side by side, you just have to beat that person in that race. You don't have to be better than the whole field.
Until the car can drive itself, the driver still is a big component.
And it has to be. It has to be for the sport to still be what it is today, enjoyable to watch. It has to have a lot of driver input into it. And that's what makes it exciting. Then you can say, oh, this guy, he drives like a machine. We had somebody that, a driver, Tony Schumacher, where he was in championship form back in the early, I would say like the 2000s, with his father, built a great, racing empire, had a pro stock motorcycle entry, couple of funny cars, couple of dragsters. I think he had one pro stock entry, but it didn't really, pan out well for him. So he stuck with the other 3 pro categories. But, it's like he was the guy that, you didn't want to go up against in a
No.
dragster because he was just a beast and an animal.
Yeah.
Now you have I forgot what the name is. He drives the Capco dragster. It's a father and son team.
Right.
Steve Torrance.
Yeah.
He's the big cheese, the big king now in dragsters. Even though Brittany Force, John's I believe youngest or middle sister, just won
Youngest.
the championship in dragster this year. But it's like, when you want to aspire to be on their level, that makes you work that much harder. It lights a fire on your ass.
Totally. Totally.
And when I see people on my team making ranks, we have Jimmy in the power team with Aaron and Carlos Aponte. And when he hit 1K rank in my first partial month in my daily choice, that made me want to work just that much harder. And I
Yep.
know, one day soon I'll get there.
No doubt. No doubt. You're going to master, brother.
Yeah. And it's also worth pointing out that Robert Hollis is a master affiliate with MDC.
You're one of those guys that the more you hang out with me and you know what I make because you've seen my back office, it's like I can tell, Anthony, you're one of those individuals that went, okay, I'm just gonna suck every bit of information out of this guy's mind, and then I'm just gonna apply it. I can tell you're that kind of person. I'm that kind of person. You know what I mean? It's like I just watched my mentor, just followed everything he did. And what's unique about this industry that we're in is that the person that understands this industry gets compensated. So with my daily choice, MDC, we get compensated. I get compensated for making sure that Anthony and anybody that watches this video live or replay, I get compensated for you earning income. So why would I want to teach you stuff that didn't work?
It's definitely, a fair, point there because you want to see other people on your team to succeed.
Yeah. I want someone to out earn me.
Great competition.
So there's people that are young that are coming in my group right now. And I'm going like, this new kid came in. He just got out of the military. Well, he's still in the military, but he's about ready to get out. And he's 21 years of age, doesn't know anything about this industry. And I'm just like, dang, man, if I got a chance to work with someone like me when I was 21, but maybe I wasn't mature enough to do anything about it at that time. Who knows?
Who knows? But I'm sure a lot of things have changed in the marketing aspect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, let alone, the success of the internet. Things are now exchanged on a very rapid base. But back then, you probably had to rely on a lot of mail sales letter type stuff just to make sure that you have eyeballs on you, and also doing seminars or trainings.
Yeah, a lot of promoting, edifying, and it was it was definitely different back in those days. It's like I can build an organization now in 30 days that it would take me a year to build back then. And so I don't even know if it's possible today to do it old school way. It's like so many things have changed.
So what would be like your best, and I probably know the answer to this question, but what would be your first advice for anybody that's wanting to jump into an organization like My Daily Choice to be an affiliate? What would be your approach?
Well, the very first approach is in this day and age, a person can create a free affiliate account just like you can with Amazon, Facebook, StreamYard, Zoom. That you can create a free account. And the thing is now to be able to actually dive in and think about the questions that you need answered to make you feel comfortable enough to refer this to somebody else. And a lot of that time, is reaching out to people like Anthony, reaching out to myself, because we had to get ourselves to a level of believability. So it's pretty easy. As I always tell people, there's two ways to learn: from your mistakes or from other people's mistakes.
Right.
And some people still want to do the school of hard knocks. And that would be someone that, in my opinion, is ignorant. And ignorant's not a bad word. But there's no reason in this day and age with the internet and YouTube that there's people like me that have made my money and way more money than me, that now all their information is available for free.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that it exists. You know what I mean? So, it's neat that you're asking the questions of what would you do first? First is just say, listen, I got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And so create a free affiliate account. Then ask yourself some really serious questions on what you would need to know to do this, because what you think that you need to do in this business to be successful, I guarantee, is not what you do. Let me explain why. If you knew what I did on a day-to-day basis, you would just do it. You'd already be successful. You'd already be making 6 figures a month. So you got to go, well, wow, I got to stop thinking with my brain. That was my success. My brain was, man, at 27 years of age, I knew I got myself in that bad situation. I chose a field that took a lot of physical ability. And when I got hurt physically, I couldn't do the job.
That's a lift, or was it a lift that went down on your knee?
Yeah, a van fell off a hoist, a Toyota van, and almost amputated my right knee. And so I immediately understood that if I was going to continue to be a mechanic, I needed to do something that would not hurt me physically.
Right.
But I can't imagine Anthony being a 60-year-old auto mechanic.
I mean, definitely
oh my God. It's like every bone on my body would be hurting. Every joint would be hurting.
Not only that, but you have electric cars now coming in that you probably have no idea, how to attack a problem to fix it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But definitely things have changed since then. And like you said, we have, My Daily Choice has a bunch of innovative products that solve a lot of problems for everyday uses for people. One of them, is Fuel Factor X, which is the advanced fuel treatment that I've been actually testing on my wife's truck. And we've actually seen some positive results, and I've done demo videos on that.
Yeah, you have. They're great videos.
Thank you. It takes time for me to make them because I guess being an accountant, I'm like very anal. So it has to be said a certain way. It has to be perfect. So I'm always doing like different takes. It took me a good 8 months after I said to myself, yeah, I'm going to be, in business for myself online to actually make a video, because I was scared. I was nervous to go on camera and, being, okay, how can I fill up this space? But there's apps that can actually take away the ums and the ahs and the pauses.
Really?
Yeah, there's the teleprompters that I actually have on my phone, so I can be shooting something when I'm walking around in the city or in my backyard, and I can see a teleprompter of words right where the camera is, and I'm seeing it, so people don't even know that I'm actually, am a fluent speaker, because I'm not. I don't feel like I'm a good presenter.
Impressive. That's impressive. I didn't even know that stuff existed.
Yeah, it's a paid subscription, and I feel that it makes me come across as something more confident, because the more and more that I see it, that's what you need to, what's the word I'm looking for? You need to perceive as a person of confidence.
Right.
Even when I play poker.
One of the things that we talked about with the plastic cups, I promise you, Anthony, if people finally say, well, how can I do this? So once you're a free affiliate, there's 2 choices that you have. Either be a creator of content or share other people's content. It's just that simple. I don't want to write the science of getting rich. Andrew Carnegie read it, became the wealthiest person in the world, and then had Napoleon Hill write Think and Grow Rich to prove the data of the book. All right. So I'd rather promote his book. There's probably not too many people on the planet that has sold more, Science of Getting Rich books than me. If there was someone, it would be Bob Proctor. You know what I mean? So a lot of people have a difficulty promoting somebody else's information, which I find bizarre. It's something with the ego. So when I got in this company, Josh and Jenna are in their 30s. They're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They built a company that's done hundreds of millions of dollars. They got like 20 people that have that seven-figure plaque. Why reinvent the wheel? I don't get it. It's like there's no one that can do a better presentation than Josh and Jenna, and you can become an affiliate for free and go back and watch. Well, why would you want to learn all the facts about a product and try to be a salesperson when people could just watch the videos that the company did professionally?
And that's one of the things that I quote on one of your videos. You said that you're not a salesperson.
I am not
a professional referrer.
Yeah. And it's funny, you can go to Google today and just put in referral programs or affiliate programs. And, we refer movies, we refer restaurants, we refer, products that can better our lives. If someone called you up and said, I'm having a problem with my pet, or I'm having a problem with my child, it's immediately, if you're a human being, you want to help. You want to help. Well, listen, I this is what I did with my dog, or this is what I did with my children, or this is what I did with my spouse. And people just got to understand that, we know people like Kim Kardashian's, and people like that. And to think that her younger daughter sister became a billionaire before her. And like I think it's Kylie Jenner or something. I was trying to.
I think so.
And people don't realize that these people built a large social media network by just sharing their content, and then they started sharing affiliate links, and that's how they make money. Now companies pay them to share affiliate links. They get paid to share a post, and then Kylie went, well, if I'm going to market somebody else's stuff, why don't I just market my own? Why don't I create a product that I could promote for myself?
You ran with it.
Yeah. And it's like, if you followed any one of these people that are influencers, we sort of vicariously live through them and their lives. And then while they're doing it, they're talking about, oh my God, have you guys used an Apple Watch? If you clicked on my link below, you could get an Apple Watch. And it's like crazy that people don't think about creating a free affiliate link for something that they would promote.
Definitely. And it's easy if it's something that you use every day.
And you believe in it.
Yeah. That's like, the be all end all. You have to believe in the product. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so passionate about it. That's why I feel so comfortable to publicly promote the advanced fuel treatment, because I'm a user of the product and I've seen positive changes in my wife's vehicle.
Yep.
And going back to your book, Robert, there was a story that kind of like hit home where it's like emotionally your son. Now, before I mention this, it's amazing how you got your son, I think his name is Matt, involved in the network marketing. And I can understand how proud that must be as a father, because when I help my father and brother in racing, I'm not the mechanics guy. I just, I'm the computer guy that says, okay, your car's going to run X amount of ET in this weather condition. So I'm constantly helping my father and brother at the racetrack. And it's great that your family's, surrounded by a passion that you also enjoy.
Yeah.
But the story that you were telling your son, that you were parking the car away from your house because you were trying to dodge the repo man before you met with your first mentor. That was like, I was like dumbfounded when I was reading that on the train.
Right.
I found that story so gripping to me.
Yeah, what we all try to do when we get in bad situations is our number one goal is just survival.
Yeah.
Just survival. So when my leg was in a cast, they kept telling me that they were hoping that I could rehabilitate. So my first goal was to go back to be a crew chief. You know what I mean? To work in the mechanics world,
Yeah.
and it just kept getting longer. It just kept getting postponed, and 90 days was like, well, that's like a vacation, especially if they're paying you. And I have money in the bank, and then 6 months, it's like I don't have money in the bank, and I'm missing payment. And banks don't care who you are. If you miss payments, they just start picking stuff up.
Yep.
And then the next point was, well, I got a used car, so I'll go get a pawn loan on that used car. And that will help me a couple of months. And then when I got 2 months behind on that payment, now I got the repo man following me. So I knew that they were going to repossess the car, so I was parking it a couple of blocks away, and to have my young son look at me and just say, "Dad, why don't you just go up a couple of blocks and hang a left? Our apartment's on the left there."
Yep.
And I like I shared the story. I just didn't know how to lie to him. This is my son. He's like, "Why aren't you doing it?" And I didn't want to come up with a lie.
Right.
And so right then and there, I just said, I just don't want to live like this anymore. And to think that what I was waiting on is hopefully a rehabilitation of my knee. That's what I was waiting on. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was the day that I went, I just don't want to live like this anymore. There's got to be a better way for me. And I boldly quote this all the time, but I got down on the one knee I had left and asked God to help me. If you're up there, man, I need help. And it was a couple of days later when someone called me and said, "Hey, I met this guy. He's making 62 grand a month. He's expanding his company and he's looking for people that he can train." And I was like, "I'm your guy." And I hope everyone understands that you definitely can learn to do this part-time on your hours. It was just a great transition for me. It was like, okay, I can learn. If someone's done it and someone's going to show me how to do it, I can do it. Now I know that, that probably is not true for me today, as far as figure skating, you know what I mean? Or being a gymnastic person, you know what I mean? It's like, but we're talking about something that you can learn that has to do with your personality and your ability to type and speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I have one girl in my group that's doing extremely well. I'm so proud of her, and she's deaf.
Wow.
And so,
Wow.
yeah. And so, I make sure that all the videos that I do has closed caption, you know what I mean? And she's learning and she's teaching all the other people that she know that can't hear.
That is amazing, and that's what made. I mean, really, it makes it so special because it shows that anybody can do this. I think there was somebody that traveled over 30 hours to go to the Dallas events.
Yeah,
I don't know who that person was. I heard the story, but anybody that's willing and able to, make something out of it, they'll find the power to do so.
absolutely.
And it's people that were probably not, so extraordinary like you and I, way back when, but it's like anybody can do it if they really put their heart and soul into it.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's what I find, very gratifying that, if a lot of these people can do it, then someday I can teach people how to do it
Yeah,
myself.
when you said that you're going to go to the event, what that's the perfect place where you realize that you're not the only person that's making money doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the only person that said, listen, I can learn this. I can learn this. If other people can learn this, I can do it. So it's for me on a personal level. I always tell people it's like when if you ever watch a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It became a part where he didn't feel like he was like anybody else, so he ends up on Misfit Island,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the Misfit toys. And so if you ever has felt in your life that you just don't fit in, then that puts you in a perfect position where you're saying like, okay, I played by the rules. That's what I always tell people. At 27, I did everything that everybody told me to do.
Right.
And it was like, you know, one mistake, you know, and one miscalculation. It wasn't my fault, you know, that I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and now I can't provide for my family. And so I pray that every one of you that watched this live or recorded, I pray that your life doesn't get in a situation where it becomes that desperate. You
Right.
know, I tell people that you're either inspired, you're in inspiration, or you're in desperation. And I know that money doesn't buy happiness, but it gets rid of desperation.
For sure. And there's a great community involved. I know, at least with my team, with Aaron, Carlos, and you know, there's a sense of community of belonging that, like you said, you know, people want to see others succeed, and you know, you get to hang out with the group that's making money,
Right.
and you know, that's the proof in the pudding. That's where you.
Yeah, Aaron's got one of these plaques.
Yeah, yeah, he's been great. He's been shooting a lot of training videos. The people
Yeah,
that
so
I bring in.
I got Aaron in one leg, he's got the plaque, and then Candace in another leg, and she's got a plaque. Now I'm gonna make sure that Anthony gets a plaque.
I like where you're going with that, Robert. I love it. I love it. So, I mean, at this time, we're approaching the hour mark. I feel like we can go on for days, Robert,
Right.
but I wanted to be
We'll do more videos.
yeah, definitely. And I would love to bring on Carlos and Aaron and all the
Sure.
big heavy hitters and leaders in the business as well in the future. But if anybody, you know, is on with us live that has a question, you can type it below in the comment section. But I just feel that, you know, it's always great to like get the message out there that
Yep.
if there's opportunities that people either see and do not, you know, detect or know that it's an opportunity, unless they have like a good like marketing eye to say, hey, I can leverage this message, I can leverage this situation and turn it into a business or like even a post. One of
Yeah.
my previous mentors said that life is content. Your everyday experiences, your everyday life can be turned into content and you can apply it to business. And I
Right.
feel like that's what I've been doing very well at, because I've been at this for about a year and a half now. And I feel that I can really embody that. And that's what is gratifying when I do videos, because people, I get some people that come up to me and say, hey, I really enjoy your videos, Anthony. Keep up the good work. And that's really, you know, gratifying for me because I
Yeah,
enjoy
fulfilling.
making them. And the editing that I do, it takes me longer to do it, but I want it a certain way to get
Yeah.
that energy, to get that, you know, that passion in there. But you know, I do thank everybody that was able to watch this live. Robert, I thank you for spending your
Thank
time
you, Anthony.
with us tonight, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. And see you in Nashville.
All right. God bless.
All right, guys, take care. This has been official, and have a good night. And Robert, what do you always say at the end of your videos?
If no one's giving you permission to succeed and be happy, let us be the first to give you permission.
Love it, Robert. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
night.